So you want to unlock $100,000 in 0% interest funding. If you are a business owner or an entrepreneur or somebody just interested in this subject, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know, all the prerequisites to acquire this amount of money in 0% interest funding and utilizing credit card stacking in the year of 2025 and 2026 here. So I came up with steps 1 through 3 of the capital engineering framework, and I'm going to teach you the basics, how to actually go build relationships with these banks and the strategy behind it, and everything that you basically need, including resources for tools that you may need as well, and actually how to build history on your credit score and your business credit score. So yeah, let's just start with the basics and not waste any time. So what is 0% funding? So 0% is a intro APR on most credit cards. Banks advertise this using 0% interest to incentivize you to get these credit cards. Typically, it lasts between 6 to 18 months, and it's just a time window where you can utilize these credit cards. But what actually happens is people don't fully utilize this time window. You could either build more relationships and get more 0% interest APR, or you could go ahead and try to make a profit on this money. And that's how we ultimately use this 0% interest. So the 3 worlds lenders evaluate are personal credit, your PG, your personal guarantee, business credit, and then your relationship and internal risk. So early stage funding often leans on your PG, so your personal guarantee, as well as the relationship you have with the bank. And that's what we're really leaning into with this strategy. So your credit score is a 3-digit number, and it's from 300 to 850. Your utilization makes up about 30%. Age is 15%. Your mix, so revolving credit like credit cards, and then installment loans like a car payment, it only makes up about 10% of your credit score. Then we have new credit and inquiries makes up about 10%. And then your credit history and your payment history is about 35%. So approval triggers versus denial triggers. Denial triggers you control. Too many inquiries, new accounts in a short time, and that is within usually like a year or 2 time frame that they look at. Utilization spikes. So if you're going over that 15%, I'll get more into that later in the video. And a thin file, so you don't have a lot of, you don't have a bunch of credit mix, as well as your you don't have that much time having these actual credit cards, and that's what we're talking about here. Derogatory, so making any late payments, as well as having a bankruptcy, collections, anything like that we do not want. And you'll actually need to go through the credit repair process before we go ahead and move on to going into the funding stages or any of this. Inconsistent identity data. So you want to make sure your credit report is 100% accurate. Anything that is on your credit report that is negative, you can dispute if it is not 100% accurate, mind you. So yeah, your PG and liability risk. Most beginner business funding is PG based. Mismanaged business credit can still hurt you with closures, reviews, utilization, cash flow stress, as well as bankruptcies, like I mentioned, can still affect your personal credit score. But ultimately, the benefit of business credit is it doesn't directly report to your personal profile. So yeah, treat funding like leverage with risk controls, not just free capital. I don't want you spending it on, I probably won't work with you personally if you're going to go spend it on designer or waste it. I'm really just trying to work with business owners that are really going to use this money and not increase the default rate. But yeah, so what is your personal and entity setup, and what are the key data points we're looking for here? So your goal with stage 1 is to become approvable on paper with your personal and your entity profile. So yeah, stage 1 is your personal credit data points you need to meet. You need at least a 700 credit score, or 720 plus is ideal. On the personal side, you also want 5K to 10K in limits. You want a credit card that has at least 5K on it. In order to maximize the funding on the business side. So one bank, when they look at your credit profile, they see, Chase has already given them $5,000, so they're trustworthy. At least on the personal side, this is a minimum data point we need. So utilization, we're trying to keep that under 10%. And that's another thing that's very important. Stay under 50% is a safe range, but ideally under 10. Credit age is 3 years or older. We can manipulate this with authorized users. So I have a resource in this video, or if you have a family member that is willing to add you onto their credit card, basically what this is they give you, you're an authorized user on their credit card, and you consume all of their past history. So if they have 5 years of on-time payments, you'll consume that onto your credit report. Different banks look at it differently, though, just mind you that. But we can manipulate how long you've had credit cards essentially in your age. Inquiries per bureau, so you want less than 3 per bureau in the last 12 months. Zero late payments, zero collections, zero charge-offs, payment system, auto pay minimums on everything. You don't want to be missing any payments on this stuff. For entity setup, you want your EIN to be active. You're good with the Secretary of State and everything is accurate across there. Your business name, your business address, your phone is consistent everywhere. Your business phone line is not personal. What you can do is actually get a 1-800 number. So I have a resource in this video for that as well. You want a business email, so it is attached to your domain. It's not an @gmail.com or anything in that regard. A business address, and what you can do is get a registered agent or a virtual address using a service, and it basically shows the banks that you have a physical location rather than it being your home. That doesn't look professional on their end. And then you just want a basic website minimum. Your NICS code / industry. What you can do is you can look up what your industry code is. It should be on your filing for your LLC and everything. But you want to choose a low risk category. So service businesses, consulting got spiked up, and there's a few others, but you can do your own research online to find that out. It's not a make or break situation. Any business can get funded, but this will be a determining factor. So stage 1C, this is just so you can move on, kind of pass through this. So if utilization is over 15%, pause and fix that. If any new inquiries and new accounts are spiking, pause, make sure you're fixing that. Don't keep moving forward. If any identity mismatches on your profile, fix this before moving on. But yeah, so stage 2, business and banking strategy. This is where we get a little bit fun here. So we're looking to build relationships and with clean banking behavior and show the banks that we're trustworthy, essentially. So stage 2A, just know that a fewer accounts done right beats a bunch of accounts done sloppy. So we're looking to have one primary bank and then 2 secondary banks or credit unions. These are the top banks of 2026. This is just a good resource for you. You can go for other banks if you choose. But Chase, if you qualify for the 524 rule, so basically what 524 means is you have under 5 personal credit cards in the last 24 months. So if you have 4, you're good. If you have 3, you're good. They are basically like a toxic girlfriend, is how people have framed it before to me, is that they want to be your bank, essentially. They get jealous if you do business with these other banks, but they are the top lending and they are the #1 bank in the USA. So if you do qualify for it, always go for Chase first. If you have a newer LLC, American Express, Amex is good, as well as Wells Fargo is good. But there's other banks like Citizens, US Bank, Bank of America. And then you can go on ibanknet.com to find your local credit unions in your area tend to give higher amounts out, which is great. So yeah, you want to choose about 3 of those, 1 primary and then 2 secondary. So this is how we're actually going to build a relationship with these banks. So seasoning, data points, what good actually looks like. So seasoning, you want to build these relationships between 60 to 90 days for aggressive funding plays like this. So build that relationship with them. So you want to be monthly depositing $1,000 to $3,000 per bank. So make sure you are opening a business bank account with them, mind you, not personal. And your goal is to be, like I mentioned, depositing $1,000 to $3,000 per account. So with Chase, I'm depositing $3,000 every month for these 90 days. So that's about $9,000. You want to do it consistently, not spiky. It needs to look predictable, maybe weekly, bi-weekly versus just random lump sums. And then you want to put some expenses on this as well. That you want to show them you're an actual business and you're doing business with them, essentially. You want to put regular stuff like tools, software, fuel, etc. Just start spending some of that money and show them you have income, essentially. Something to keep in mind is these banks, when you're applying for these credit cards, this isn't your total income you're saying to them. This is because they know that you probably have other banking relationships with other banks and that you have money that they don't see directly. And that's what credit cards are, no doc loans. So they know that you have other banks, essentially. And that's why we just need to show them that we're doing business with them. And that's our goal here. Avoid overdrafts, excessive returns, negative balances, chargeback patterns, merchant processing if applicable, so you can run like Stripe, just run real invoices through this. So if you do just start a business or run some payments through here, it's always good. So final checklist. So you want over a 700 credit score, under 10% utilization, under 3 inquiries per bureau in the last 12 months, ideally. No derogatory, so 0 late payments, 0 collections, 0 charge-offs during the run. If you have some of that, you need to go through the credit repair process, or if you have under a 700 credit score, you need to go through the credit repair process before you do any of this. And then, yeah, so start that bank seasoning for 60 to 90 days, and then increase that bank activity where you're giving them 1 to 3K a month. Identity consistency. So this is really important too. Make sure everything lines up on your credit profile. Make sure every name is accurate, every address is accurate, every phone number is accurate. And then these are some of the documents you're going to need ready: driver's license, proof of insurance, EIN, LLC, bank login access. But for proof of address, typically they're looking for like a bank, or a bill. So if you have like a light bill or anything in between, they just want to prove that you live where you live, essentially. But that's for personal credit, mind you. So yeah, follow me for more funding strategies. I have some resources here for you. But yeah, so my Instagram is ethan.knows.funding. DM me the word vector if you went through this full framework. And I would love to get you guys funded and give you a tailored approach to what credit cards to go after, and maximize your funding in the next 3 years, not in just the next 12 months. I'll teach you everything I know, essentially. And we post daily content, which is really great. So yeah, so 411 listings. So if you're trying to build your score up in history, make sure you're listing it on the 411 directory, and make sure your name, address, everything else is repetitive. Get your DUNS number. This is basically your business credit score. So make sure you get that, your Duns and Bradstreet. Use services like Ecredable to add trade lines to report your business credit profile. So what you can do is maybe transfer a phone bill into your business's name, or with a service like Ecredable, these are called utility primaries. So they're not a trade line; they're actually a primary. And what you can do is you can backdate it. So this is pretty crazy. You can go with Ecredable and you can backdate things up to 2 years. So if you've had, let's say, your customer relation management system, or any bill that has had your LLC on the invoice, and you have 2 years of payments with them, you can approach Ecredable, tell them about this, and they will add that onto your business credit report. So you could build 2 years of business credit score using a service like Ecredable. There's other ones too, but that's a good resource for you guys. So yeah, Verified Tools and Resource. Tradeline Supply Co. So if you're looking for an authorized user or just gain some history on the personal side, this is really good. People charge money for this normally. I'm giving this away for free. Busy to get your LLC. And then you can also get a virtual address from them. I like using their services. Toll free. If you want to get that 1-800 number to look professional, go to Grasshopper. They provide 1-800 numbers. So here are some common mistakes as well. Do not do these before going and applying for stuff. Applying for new or personal or business credit cards too early before you go through the full cycle. Applying without 60 to 90 days of consistent business banking. We want to build that relationship beforehand. Inquiries, applying with more than 3 hard inquiries per bureau in the last 12 months. Stacking too many applications too fast, opening new checking and savings accounts, and late in the process, it just adds noise to your profile. They're looking at it like, you want to make it super clean looking for them, make them feel like they're not taking, risk. They're really big on risk mitigation. You have to understand how these banks think. Don't max out your credit cards while you're doing this. Maxing out new 0% lines immediately. So once you get approved for that first credit card, don't go max it out. Just wait. Just be patient. Use that credit card properly. I can show you how to do this. So adding new authorized users with bad credit. So if your family member has a late payment even a year ago, you don't want that. You don't want that authorized user on your profile. Taking on auto loans and personal loans before funding, or co-signing for your friends and family during prep. Don't do this. Don't fuck with your credit before you go into this process. And then letting business bank accounts sit inactive. So you want to be using those for those 60 to 90 days. It's not just about opening the accounts. You need to be showing some activity in there. But yeah, essentially this is everything you need to know, guys. I appreciate you guys spending the time with me today. But yeah, like I said, go check out our Instagram. I'd love to get you guys funded or just give you more value as much as I can. I do these videos for you guys. So I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.